Some individuals value the craftsmanship involved in narrative structures, plot effects, and the technical elements of storytelling. They admire how these components enhance the depth and engagement of a story, making it more compelling. Some people appreciate a well-crafted story much like they would a grand building or a cathedral. They see it as a complex, fascinating, and surprising piece of architecture, full of intricate details and unexpected elements. These intellectual effects are just some of the tools at your disposal, but they aren't the only ones. A narrative can also be built upon its form, structure, and plot, offering a rich tapestry of storytelling elements. Rely on these elements to craft something new, stirring emotions in the audience. A comic story, akin to Charlie Chaplin's films, can amuse us while highlighting our flaws and those of others, placing us in ridiculous scenarios. These narratives cleverly blend humor with critique, offering a mirror to our human condition. Precisely due to these vulnerabilities, a horror tale like Frankenstein's exploits them to evoke fear and reflection. Mary Shelley's classic novel Frankenstein can instead provoke unease and fear as it narrates its story, exploring themes that resonate deeply with our vulnerabilities and fears. And illustrates through its narrative the tale of this monstrous being crafted by humans themselves. Let's conduct an experiment to explore how to utilize the structure of a story effectively to elicit or create emotional responses in readers. For example, we've already seen that a suspense story can produce anxiety. No worry. However, manipulating a story's form and structure can evoke various emotions beyond just these, impacting the reader's experience. What if we develop an alternative version of our core narrative, the one we've been refining throughout these lessons, to explore new dimensions and outcomes, and fill it with mysterious events of peculiar, unexplainable occurrences, all of them naturally, yet they leave us with a sense of something beyond our comprehension, something we can't quite grasp or decode, that escapes us in some way from our understanding. Imagine what unfolds if in my rendition of the tale the events take a mysterious turn. The character representing me exits his apartment and meets a peculiar being, an unusual creature, sparking curiosity and intrigue that watches him from the shadows that haunt him. Attempting to surpass the creature, he manages to do so, but upon looking back, he discovers it lurking right behind him, as if it never left his side at all. Which is impossible, as there is no conceivable way it could have altered its position without my character noticing. It defies logic and perception entirely. And what if, upon leaving, you find it waiting on the street, right in front of you once more, as before? And what happens if at the time of going in another direction to try to avoid this strange presence that seems to move in impossible ways, suddenly arrives at the store to buy his cookies, and finds it behind the counter? What follows? We encounter a mysterious tale. A story that causes fear, that causes unease, simply by manipulating the way it presents the facts it tells. We will be able to see it in this example. Observe it. When you read it calmly, the approach is to introduce this new character, a strange and mysterious threat, into the narrative seamlessly. In positions that do not align with our original character's path, do not correspond to natural movements, and thus cannot be logically explained or justified, leaving us with an unsettling and inexplicable mystery. In a simply rational way. In this example, we can play a little with anticipation. For instance, the day when Alberto, the character, mysteriously vanished from sight. To propose from the outset the potential for an event to occur. However, the crucial aspect is akin to this supplementary element. It is essential to consider how this addition influences the narrative. Then it seemed there was someone ahead, in the distance. A silhouette, a distant shadow partially obscured behind the gnarled trunk of a tree in the distance. And then the character blinks. Upon opening my eyes, the shadow vanished. The creature he believed he saw was gone, leaving nothing but the empty space where it once stood. It could have been a misprint, or perhaps it was an optical illusion. The character walks by the tree, examining it closely and attentively, trying to understand what he just witnessed. Ninth, he turns around and suddenly finds the shadow on the sidewalk, approximately 20 meters behind him. This version of the text indicates the impact was twofold. Someone was observing him, a figure in dark clothing with indistinct features, and they had somehow managed to switch positions within mere seconds, in the blink of an eye, without Alberto noticing. Remain unchanged, yet now lie beneath the looming shadow of this mysterious presence that has suddenly appeared.